No payments for 90 days. Shop PremierTroy.com today during Jeep Adventure Days and save thousands. Nobody beats a Premier deal. Nobody.
Welcome to ESPN College Football. This is going to be wild.
Run it.
We're celebrating our Driver Appreciation Week. We're so happy to have Truckworks here.
We just want to recognize Truckworks for what they do for us. Absolute great partner. They've really stepped up here on Driver Appreciation Week. They came in here, and I mean, not hamburgers and hot dogs, Boston butts and the grilled chicken, the really, really prima stuff. So, man, we so much appreciate you guys and what you do for us.
Wally Sanders Truck Line, we know one thing. Drivers first.
The 11th annual Riverwalk Wine Festival will be held Friday, October 8th at the Union Station Train Shed. Join the City of Montgomery's Department of Cultural Affairs for an evening.
Check out the scoreboard. J.D. Power's #1 in initial quality truck. Ram. #1 longest lasting truck. Ram. Right now. Get 0% APR for 72 months on new Ram. Shop PremierTroy.com during Ram Power Days and save. Nobody beats a Premier deal. Nobody.
It's fall sale days on GE appliances at Bracken Appliance in Enterprise in Dothan. Our warehouses are loaded with appliances. Get great savings on these 4 sets of washers and dryers, starting as low as $449 each or $898 for the pair. Shop now for special savings on GE laundry at Bracken Appliance in Enterprise in Dothan. Take it home with you or Bracken will deliver. Buy local.
Check out the scoreboard. J.D. Power's #1 in initial quality midsize truck. Jeep Gladiator. 0 APR for 36 months. And no payments for 90 days. Shop PremierTroy.com today during Jeep Adventure Days and save thousands. Nobody beats a Premier deal. Nobody.
Good morning and welcome to Today in LA. My name's Mike Amos. Here's it Bill Rice Jr. And of course Mike Amos will also be calling in today on our show on this it's a Tuesday the 13th of October, and everybody's excited about the weather starting to cool off a little bit, and heck, we'll be looking at fall soon, man. Fall, what do you think?
Man, I'm ready for it.
I am too.
I hope we have less rain than we've been having for the last 4 months, and get some cold weather, but not too much cold weather.
Yeah, exactly right. Of course, Halloween's just right around the corner. Yeah. Then Thanksgiving, then Christmas, one of my very favorite times of the year.
We just had the fair.
Yeah.
My daughter Maggie went to the local fair.
Did she?
With her friend and her friend's parents, and then they had such a good time. You know what they did? The next night they went to Montgomery to the state fair.
Big one, to the very big one.
So they compared fairs and did both fairs.
Well, that was good. That was fun. Of course, since we saw you last, of course, we talked about this already, but the Charles Simpson High School Trojans get on the scoreboard for the first time this year, and Coach was here yesterday and didn't have anybody here. We didn't get the word to him, and I apologize. Hope you'll come in this morning. They're right now, Charles Simpson and all the public schools are on a break. Is that right?
Yep. Today is the last day of fall break. So fall break is 2 days. They were off yesterday and today. I've got 2 kids in Troy City Schools and a teacher in Troy City Schools, so they are sleeping in right now, so they're probably not watching me.
I don't blame them one bit, and I hope they get a good morning snap. Of course, a lot going on in college football since we saw you last. The Crimson Tide of Alabama is no longer undefeated. They were beaten by the Texas A&M Aggies, and what do you have to say for it? Right? So your team, it looked like they were going to pull it out, and then the guy throws a bomb on Alabama, throws a bomb, and they get beat.
the sun came up the next morning, I guess.
Well,
But, congratulations to Texas A&M. Although Alabama had a lot more yards, it wasn't a fluke. Texas A&M controlled most of the ball game. I will give Alabama credit for. I like it when I know Alabama's going to lose from time to time, and I like it that they don't go down without a fight.
Yeah, I know it. Me too.
It looked bleak for a while, but darn if they didn't come back and take the lead, Mike.
Exactly.
And I thought for sure.
I
They made that
thought it
good
was
effort.
over with.
That's it. But then the 2 times the defense could have stopped them and couldn't.
Yeah.
And then one time the offense could have run out the clock and they couldn't do that either.
Exactly right. And this young quarterback, nobody even knows his name really, and he came in looked like $1 million and threw that long touchdown pass and then drove it down the length of the field when they had to win the game, and you just got to hand it to them. And
when Alabama loses, the defense really lays an egg, doesn't it? I mean, they go south big time. That's the concerning part. I guess if you want to make excuses, Alabama has lost 2 starting outside linebackers, so it doesn't look like Alabama has much of a pass rush.
Yeah.
And then they lost a key defensive back early in the game on the targeting call. But still, the defense is, when they run up against any kind of good offense, which they're probably going to do against Mississippi State, especially a passing offense, they might be in trouble.
You know, like Saban said, Alabama's going to be tested the rest of the year.
There's no layups, yeah.
Maybe they might be. I don't have Alabama's not looking at their schedule as is, but I know this: they're going to play Mississippi State, and they're going to play
Arkansas,
and
LSU might.
LSU will play
and
them
Auburn
tough.
will play them tough at Auburn.
Yeah, no question about it. But at the same time, I think they're, I think if they win out, they'll play in the SEC championship game, and if they win that one, they'll be in the playoffs. And
that's right.
Hadn't missed a lick if they can win on out. But I don't know if this Alabama team has a real fire about them. This just doesn't look like it's got a lot of fire about them.
The toughness of the leadership, right now. But you look at most of the national championships Alabama's won in its history, and even in the Saban year,
they've had a loss.
And it's usually early or mid-season. So you've proven that you can come back from it, and sometimes a loss wakes you up and corrects errors. So it's not out of the realm of possibility, and I'm going to keep playing and fighting. Like you say, if Alabama can run the table, actually want Georgia to be undefeated now in the SEC championship game. And
That's right, I would think so.
And then beat Georgia, they should, with all the other chaos and all the other upsets in college football. It seems that the dominant team is said to be Georgia. Well, if Alabama beats Georgia, there you go.
Yeah, it's
so still all in front of Alabama.
If they're going to win a national championship, how about earning it? They're going to have to earn it, no question about it.
Now let's talk about Auburn, and then let's talk about Troy.
All right.
I guess Auburn, it wasn't a surprise because Georgia is as good as everybody says they are, and that backup quarterback is a lot better than people thought he would. Matter of fact, I wonder if Daniels comes back.
If he can beat him out, you're right. I agree.
What's this guy done wrong?
I know it.
He's a competitor.
And of course, we're going to be. It's going to be some excitement in the air for the next few weeks. And now it's not just automatic for the Crimson Tide, and of course Auburn. I think gave it their all. In fact, losing 34-10 is not bad to Georgia, the way it looks like now.
Well, they
got a touchdown out of the deal,
Well, and then
nobody else has done it much.
Seemed like another time they were down there near the goal line, and they went for it on 4th down when they could have kicked the field goal, and it could have been closer.
Now, tell us a little bit about that.
Well, Auburn drove down the field and I guess Coach Harsin thought they weren't going to have many chances to score touchdowns, so when you get one, you might as well go ahead and take it. But even regardless of that, it doesn't seem like to me that Auburn was going to beat Georgia.
Well, I'll tell you this. I hope our screen, your screen doesn't look as dark as our screen does. But hopefully we'll get that taken care of this morning.
Now, tell me about, Mike, about the Troy Trojans got a huge win over Georgia.
Yeah, they sure did. It was, I tell you, it scared me to death. Troy blew a 24-3 lead, ahead by 3 touchdowns, and had to fight for his life against Georgia Southern. And I knew Georgia Southern wasn't going to quit, and surely they didn't quit. Troy stopped them cold on the. I tell you what, and I'll compare it with something else later on. But Troy had that big lead at the half, and leading 24-3, and looked like they were in great shape. They went down there. Their defense just stopped Georgia Southern cold. This was the start of the second half, but the officials called a penalty.
No.
And let me tell you, I've never even heard of the penalty. It was, I still don't. I probably need some help, but it was. They called it against against Troy, and it gave Georgia Southern a first down deep in their own territory. And after that call, which turned the whole game around, because now Troy, instead of having Georgia Southern kicking from deep in their own end zone area,
the whole game.
They got 15-yard penalty and just turned it all around.
If you analyze most games, you will find 2 or 3 questionable calls by officials that turn the game. I mean, it's usually a stop that one team would stop the other, and then there's a penalty, and the other team gets to keep the ball and goes on and scores. Well, I guess I don't want to get on my soapbox, but especially in NFL games, college, high school, if you really look at it closely, it's a lot of dubious calls that, in my opinion, don't need to be called. But be that as it may, Troy still won the game.
You're on Today in L.A. How you doing? Hello.
Well, all I can say is
Roll Tide.
Alabama takes the lead, goes up by 7 with 5 minutes left, and I turned the TV off. I assume they won.
Well, what are you doing turning the TV off? You knew it wasn't over with.
I told a friend of mine, I said, if I would have had hundreds of thousands of dollars to bet that Alabama would win a game when they're up by 5, up by 7 with 5 minutes left, and you would have told me that Texas A&M not only would have tied the game, but also would have gotten the ball back and kicked a 28-yard field goal to win the game, I still can't believe that happened. I mean, the defense only had given up 24 yards the whole second half.
24 yards.
You know, I mean, you can take away a 100-yard kickoff return, which was awful. I don't think Alabama even touched the guy, but I am still shocked. But Alabama, number 19, Billingsley, I mean, if he wasn't trying to throw the game, I've never seen a player throw a game. I mean, I don't know if he was in with Vegas or what. But, I mean, I'm talking about passes that a high school ninth grader would catch right in his hands he was dropping throughout the game. I mean, only guys that are alphas on that team on offense are Brian Robinson and that Jameson Williams kid, that wide receiver number 1. The rest of those guys, I don't know what's happening.
You know, that's a good way to put it, is your alphas, your real competitors. Those are the two that jumped out at me, too. The receiver from Ohio State and Robinson were, and then the quarterback kept fighting and kept his composure, Bryce. But that's when Alabama loses. When Alabama loses, that's the way they lose. There's they had several opportunities to win the game in spite of all the stuff that went back, except for the Clemson National Championship game, and I think the South Carolina game at South Carolina that Alabama lost. Normally when Alabama loses, they had a chance to win.
I can't understand why Alabama can only run left on the offensive line. I mean, they can't run to the right, and then on that last series, they get the ball back tied, and they run to the right. Robinson gets stuffed, but then he hits Billingsley just wide open. I'm talking about sure first down. He just drops it right in his hands. I mean, it was just unbelievable to see. And then the play calling in the third or fourth quarter when we kick one of those chip shot field goals. I mean, Alabama has the ball at the 3-yard line, first down at the 3, and throws the ball 3 straight times.
Yeah.
I mean, that just doesn't make sense.
I don't like that. That was bad.
Well,
plus when you like Robinson was running the ball good, so getting a good average. Well,
Bryce Young somehow, some way. I know he doesn't like to run, but he's going to have to start running.
Yeah, you're right.
He's going to have to give that threat.
That's right.
Because, I mean, the right side of the offensive line is having tremendous troubles for Alabama. And Alabama's defense, I mean, what can you say? I mean, Malachi Moore, their best cornerback, best defensive back, gets knocked out of the game for a targeting where he basically was stopped almost when he lunged at the guy. I mean, if that's going to be targeted, I mean, that was not vicious at all. And then, the A&M guy, they got called for targeting, I think, twice. They both got taken away. I mean, I just hate that rule. I mean, if you're going to have the guy out after the second, what was that, 2 minutes in the game? I mean, he ought to be able to come back in the second half. There ought to be a new rule. Because, I mean, him not being on the field killed Alabama.
Maybe, yeah.
Well, I tell you what, everything happened that could happen, it seems like, as Alabama falls to Texas A&M. But again, you can't take...
A&M, I mean, don't get me wrong, A&M deserved to win the game. I mean, they outplayed Alabama. Yeah. I mean, they really did. But
with a young quarterback that, I doubt if you'll ever see him again. I don't think you'll ever see him in a starting role or anything. I really don't.
Well, he might have come to age.
Well, you think he will be?
Oh, yeah. You didn't see how he played in that game?
Yes.
He made one fourth row, but other than that, he was lights out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just this game, I just don't think he'll be a...
They called Alabama on the blitz so many times. He stood back there and he waited to the very end to throw the ball. I mean, he was like a young Mac Jones last night, the way he held the ball to the very end.
Well, he was, must be highly thought of because they waited until late in camp to name a starter. There was a competition between him and the guy that got hurt.
Yeah.
And A&M has athletes.
A&M going into...
Might have more athletes than Alabama.
I want to say A&M going into the game was not even listed in the top 25.
Nope.
And beat Alabama.
That hurt one of Alabama's
streak of 100 games, 100 straight wins against unranked opponents.
Yeah.
100 games they had won.
I actually think if A&M had run the table and was undefeated, Alabama would have beat them. I think Alabama was flat after the Ole Miss game and Texas A&M losing 2. I talked about it last week on the show. If y'all picked up on it, I said I'm worried about this game. The Alabama might not have the same level of intensity they normally would in such a game, and especially in the first quarter, you saw it. Texas A&M jumped all over Alabama.
So it's Auburn played.
But then save it before the half. Though. I mean, you got 3 timeouts. You got them pinned back. You don't want to at least try to take a timeout? I mean, at least try to get a field goal before the half? I didn't understand that. It almost like he was embarrassed and was just ready to get to the line.
How far? What kind of field goal would it have been?
I mean, A&M was just trying to run the clock out at the end of the first half. And Alabama had 3 timeouts and had them pinned back around the 10-yard line.
Oh, man.
Both coaches would have called timeout every single time they got a stop.
Yeah.
To try to force a punt or try to get the ball back before the half.
How much was
it? Ready to get to the half.
Yeah. Well, he was. I'm sure he was embarrassed.
I know Saban's only had 2 undefeated teams, and I know there's usually a loss every year. But I got a feeling there might be another loss this weekend in Starkville.
I tell you, they're going to have a. They're going to.
I mean, Mississippi State's got an off week.
They sure are.
Mississippi State beat Texas A&M, didn't they?
Let us give us a look at the rest of Alabama's schedule. Give it. All right.
Let me pull it up.
And
I think
let's
after
look at
Mississippi
it.
State they play LSU, and we can talk about LSU too.
Yeah, how's Orgeron keeping his job?
Alabama thinks that things are dark, but nothing compared to LSU.
All right, Alabama's got Mississippi State this weekend. Then after that, they got Tennessee.
And Tennessee's going to be a lot better too.
Honestly, then they got LSU at home, New Mexico State at home, Arkansas at home, and then Auburn. So Alabama is looking pretty good. I mean, if they can get by Mississippi State, I think their next toughest game will be at Auburn.
But you're not giving Arkansas any kind of credit?
Yeah, that's true.
I don't think Arkansas beat them in Tuscaloosa. If it was in Fayetteville, maybe.
All right, Mississippi State this week in Starkville, is that right?
Yeah.
All right, then who we got in Tuscaloosa?
You got Tennessee at home. Tennessee still don't have enough athletes to beat Alabama.
I tell you what, though, they're scoring some points.
Mm-hmm. Well, any kind of offense that can put up numbers is going to probably put up numbers against Alabama's defense.
All right, so,
who? LSU at home, that'll be a blowout.
They might put it together, though, can't tell.
New Mexico State at home will be a blowout. Arkansas at home, Arkansas, it would be a lot tougher matchup on the road. Alabama wins this weekend. I think it'll come down to them being 10-1 playing Auburn. They beat Auburn, they go to the SEC championship, play Georgia at 11-1.
Okay, it's good that Georgia is in the East, don't you think? It makes it better for Alabama, don't you think?
Oh, Alabama lost to the right team. They've already got 2 conference losses.
Yeah.
So they lost to the first team to lose to.
Of course, I thought Auburn played Georgia, very respectably. I thought they played them tough, didn't they?
What are you talking about? They got dominated.
Mike, listen.
What part of that game did you think Auburn played well?
Well, I just thought they scored. They scored 10 points, and nobody else has scored 10 points.
Bo Nix was running for his life, just like we said. South Carolina scored 13 against him.
Let me answer this. You didn't think Bo played well?
Well, he's just out of his league when it comes to a defense like that.
Yeah. But now, 34 points, that's not a lot of points again. 34-10, that's not a bad score.
Really? I thought you thought that Auburn was going to win it. They got beat by 24 at home.
Well, let's see.
I just noticed.
Auburn lost. Troy almost lost. Charles Simpson won.
Yeah.
Spartan Blocks won. Goshen won. Congratulations.
That was a big win for Goshen. You're right. Exactly right.
That was a good county rivalry, and Goshen won 15-13.
It sure was a big game, and of course
got their first win.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's their coach's first victory there, Don Moore.
Yeah. Of course, Troy University played hard and Lightning blew a 24-3 lead. Thank goodness they were able to pull it out.
I'll tell you what, Gunnar Watson made some good throws. So I didn't get to watch all the game, but man, that late throw he made to the kid from off who never played, that was phenomenal.
And you're right, Orlando Lacy. He's our Mike Amos' player of the week on Today in LA is Orlando Lacy.
All right.
And he made that big catch to set up that touchdown.
Gunnar Watson threw for 270 yards. Woods ran for, I think, 98, but 96 were in the first half. B.J. Smith, who we said, should be the starter, went phenomenal against South Carolina, didn't even play. We still don't know why he didn't play.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
Surprising he didn't play. Did you notice an injury? I thought I saw him on the sideline during the game. It looked like he was fine.
Who are you talking about?
B.J. Smith.
He didn't play. He did not play. You're right.
Did not play.
He must have been hurt because he had a good week last week.
He had a great week. He was phenomenal against South Carolina. It looked like he did when he used to play against when Troy beat Nebraska that time. He rushed for 130 yards.
Well, I'm tickled though about the way Troy handled it. Down the stretch. They had to take it there.
State, and Vegas loves Troy, man. Vegas has been very, very generous to Troy all year on lines, and Troy's a 6.5-point favorite at Texas State.
I can't understand it either.
Who won the South Alabama Texas State game?
Texas State just beat South Alabama.
Yeah. Oh, Alabama South Alabama's got a way to lose the ball game, don't they?
Texas State beat South Alabama in four.
That's what I was going to say. 4 overtimes.
Oh, wow.
It took Texas State to beat.
You know what the final score was, even in 4 overtimes? 33-31.
Yeah. That's what the final score was, 33-31. Man, oh man.
Yeah.
Well, Troy controls its own destiny in the Sun Belt Conference, and people laugh at me, but Troy has not been eliminated from the Sun Belt title contention, so players, you hang in there.
You know, another thing about that was I believe South Alabama's got the week off. They've got, isn't that right? Doesn't South Alabama have the week off after that?
No, they actually play on Thursday night against Georgia Southern.
Oh, they do. Man, I didn't know that's a chore right there now.
How in the world did Georgia Southern throw for 250 yards almost against Troy?
I know it. That was all Troy took the run game away from them. It was amazing how Troy was able to do that, and they
only rushed for 82 yards, the lowest they've rushed in I think 8 or 9 years.
Yeah, exactly. And it was like, hey, Troy was saying, you're gonna have to beat us by throwing, and this kid, did a pretty good job of it for Georgia Southern, but Troy and Coach. I thought they played very well, and to be able to have the courage and to take them the length of the field when they had to do it, I thought it was great.
Yeah, we had breaking news late last night. John Gruden, the Raiders coach, has been forced out. He had to resign for comments made 10 years ago through email. So Raiders are without their coach for the rest of the year. Of course, Gruden was a national name. He did Monday Night Football. Everybody loved him as a commentator. Everybody loved him when he won the Super Bowl at Tampa Bay. But he is pretty much done forever, it looks like, in football. You'll probably never see him announcing. You'll probably never see him coach again.
I know.
Mike, you said that correct. You're right. The football's losing a great spokesman.
He's been sent out to the wilderness.
Yeah, he's
been sent out to graze.
It's one of those things. It's one of those things. Boy, they'll come back and get you. It doesn't matter how long ago you said it, or how long ago you typed it.
And like he said,
in the culture we live in today, man, it is scary.
Yeah. Let me just say this.
About what they've said in the past.
Let me say this. Gruden probably he loved people. He was a people person, if there was one, and if he did that 10 years ago, maybe so, but in the last 5-10 years, he probably is as good a spokesman for the NFL and their players as anybody.
I just don't understand how there could be any racism when you're a college coach, a high school coach, or a NFL coach.
Yeah.
I mean, 85% of your players are probably African American.
Yeah, at least that much.
I mean, I just don't understand how in the world a guy like that could be considered racist, but maybe he is. I don't know.
Well, he claims that he's probably the most non-racist coach in America, and I would agree with him. He's always, seemed to be a guy that just loved everybody. And that's.
I mean, if you're racist and you're a football coach, you're in the wrong profession.
You sure are, no question about it. I was looking at these, Mike, how is Auburn and all these football players you look at, they've got their pants pulled over their knees. It seems like they would be a lot of busted knees out there. What do you think?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
A lot of kids don't wear knee pads.
All of them. It looks crazy. Looks like they're wearing Bermuda shorts out there.
I guess.
I guess they just feel like they can run and move better, I guess. I don't know. A knee pad didn't look it bother me.
I tell you what.
But it really, what protection does a hard knee really need from a direct hit? And then also the little thigh the equipment is completely different than we played. Like you say, hardly any of them even have knee pads. Their thigh pads are tiny. They don't have hip pads.
Oh, yeah,
Remember, we
that's
used
right.
to have those girdles
That's right.
and hip pads. They got rid of those years ago. The shoulder pads are smaller. They want to be svelte and fast and light.
Well, Georgia moves on to #1 in the nation after the big win and over Auburn.
I'm going to watch that Iowa Penn State game. That must have been a great game.
Boy, that must have been. I tell you something, probably the most underrated quarterback in the country might be that Iowa quarterback. He made things happen when they needed. He's a real outstanding college football quarterback.
I watched some of it. It was a good game. Iowa came back. They were down and real good stadium atmosphere. They're a fun old-fashioned team to watch.
And we're going to build
So no, we have football tonight. A great game in Sun Belt. Appalachian State against Louisiana Lafayette on ESPN2 tonight.
Oh boy!
6:30. Appalachian State will travel to Lafayette.
This is like their championship game, isn't it?
Yeah.
App State's a 5-point favorite on the road tonight.
Well,
Nothing better than Tuesday night football.
And the Sun Belt they could just say, well, this is the Sun Belt championship right here. They'll just give it to the winner because those two are the best players out there.
Coastal Carolina is.
Oh yeah, you're right. I forgot about them.
They're in the top 20, and they seem to deserve it. They haven't been challenged this year, have they? Coastal Carolina.
Yeah, they almost lost on the road to Buffalo. They beat them 28-25.
Yeah, but you know,
the powerhouse Buffalo.
You know, they don't even. I was looking for the AP.
I don't want to hear about it. Just tell me in about 3 weeks. I don't want to think about it.
Of course, South Alabama.
I got a recap on all the scores if y'all want scores.
All right, give it to us, please.
Cincinnati beat Temple 52-3. Cincinnati's still undefeated. Arizona State beat Stanford 28-10. Other ranked games, I watched pretty much the whole second half of this game. Ole Miss survives Arkansas.
Was that let me tell you this.
The play call on the 2-point conversion. I mean, they didn't have a chance to complete that pass.
Let me tell you this. Let me tell you, y'all can talk all you want to about this old coach, you know, and of course he cost his team the loss.
He did?
Oh yeah, by going for 2. I mean, he would have at least given his team a chance if they had gone into the.
He thought that his defense could not stop Ole Miss in overtime. They would score it, and so he said, "Well, if I got a chance to win the game without going in overtime, I'm going to take it."
Yeah.
I kind of supported it at the time, but the play call was bad. I would have just run the ball, run some good running play. And,
I mean, they couldn't tackle the quarterback. He's a big, strong runner himself.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you.
52-51, though, and that was in regulation. Can you imagine if it would have went over?
I know, it's unbelievable. But at the same time, you gave your team a chance by having several different opportunities in overtime. You know, I still say he did his team wrong by going for 2. Coach, you mean? Wait a minute. I wanted to hear that. Hey, Coach, you mean that's it? We don't play anymore. We don't get into overtime and have a chance, 4 or 5 chances to win the game with a big play. You know, and you want us to just take this play right here and we got to go home, Coach. Hey, we lose by a point, Coach, because you went for 2, Coach.
Well, you can do it by analytics. You know the percentage of times you make a 2-point conversion is about 40%.
Yeah, that's right.
So you had a greater chance of not making it.
And even like Mike said, it wasn't even close, you know. And I just hated it for those players.
They run that play earlier in the game, and Ole Miss actually, defensively, couldn't have played it any better. But
boy, don't you know? Those Ole Miss guys said, "Oh man, thank you for doing that. Thank you for doing that, Coach."
Ole Miss wins Florida the line was 39, and they beat Andy by 42. 42-0.
Turn it. You're not talking through the mic now. Talk through the mic.
I am talking as good as I can with the
All right.
service I have in Grayson.
All right, that sounds good there. That sounds real good.
Tennessee, easiest pick on the board. Tennessee was a 10.5-point favorite. They won 45-20 over South Carolina. South Carolina was awful.
Didn't I tell y'all before to put your house on Tennessee? Did y'all hear me say that?
Not put your house on it, but you were bullish on Tennessee, yeah.
But I was bullish on Tennessee.
The game for the day, Texas is up by 21 points. They are beating the living you-know-what out of Oklahoma. Oklahoma changes quarterback, comes back and wins 55-48.
Now, who is this quarterback they brought in?
I think it's Williams.
They took Rattler. They took Rattler out of the game.
They said Rattler has lost the starting job.
You mean this? Who is this kid?
The Heisman Trophy candidate has lost his starting job.
I know it. Man,
Williams has come in before throughout the season.
How long did he? Is he a running quarterback or something or what?
No, he can do it all. Dual threat. He's a 5-star.
Where's he from?
I don't know the whole details.
But he actually came in and Rattler never came. When did he come into the game?
He came in the second quarter.
And he played all the rest of the game.
They brought Rattler back for 1 2-point conversion.
Well, yeah, for 1 2-point conversion, which was very strange. But yeah, he did come back for that. But this guy is a phenomenal player. Rattler's been inconsistent all year. So
Does this make
a lot of Oklahoma people have been calling into radio shows for weeks, saying that Rattler shouldn't be the starter, and I guess they finally made the move.
Does this make Oklahoma a real threat to win a national championship?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think it's one of the biggest hurdles for sure. Another blowout here. Ohio State destroyed Maryland. Maryland looks like they are done.
Now that's one. Yeah, you're right. They just murdered them, boy. I tell you, it was no.
66-17.
Yeah.
Michigan State is still undefeated. Went to Rutgers, won 31-13. Other games, Neil Brown, bless his heart.
He's in trouble.
They might beat Baylor because it was such a must-win. They're only a 1.5-point underdog. Neil Brown goes to 2-4. And they lose to Baylor 45-20.
That's right. No defense.
Tough game to pick here. Georgia Tech beat Duke 31-27. I think we had that on our picks. Another great game here. I had Louisville, and they were up, I think, with 2 minutes to go. I guess Virginia came back and won a late last-second game, 34-33. Virginia survives at Louisville.
Virginia's been doing that all year. I don't know where they beat Miami the same way, and their coach does a great job of their team.
Right, she'll be interested in this game. My sister, is a big wig at UAB, and she had to go to the game this weekend. I guess it's homecoming, and UAB blows out Willie Taggart in Florida Atlantic 31-14. She said half the stadium was full. So what do you think of that, Ryan?
Half was empty. So that was 22,000 people. That's more than I thought they would have.
But, they won the ball game. That was big.
They need to keep winning.
Wake Forest is still undefeated. Survived Syracuse 40-37 at Syracuse. Upset of the day, I feel like here. I mean, North Carolina, 18-point favorite. Florida State wins again, 35-25 at North Carolina.
North Carolina, he has a hard time winning plus winning any kind of game like that he's supposed to win.
Yeah.
He's not.
Vegas was telling us all last week, what's the deal? Boise State's only won one game. They're playing at BYU. It's only 6.5 at BYU.
That's right.
Boise 26, BYU 17.
Boy, somebody knows what they're doing, don't they?
Also, SMU remains undefeated. They beat Navy 31-24. Georgia beat Auburn 34-10. That line was 15, so Georgia covers pretty easily. Other games of interest: Iowa 23, Penn State 20. That game was 2.5, so Iowa won by 3.
We need to take a look at that. Who can beat Iowa? Who can beat Iowa? Ohio State.
Florida bounces back, beats East Carolina 20-16, so Malzahn gets the win. surprising story here. Texas Tech have been playing well, but TCU beat them 52-31 at Texas Tech.
They've got a quarterback at Texas at TCU that's really good. He is really good.
And then I couldn't understand this line all week. Western Kentucky has only won one game. They're a 3.5-point favorite at home. My team, UC San Antonio, remains undefeated. They won 52-46 at Western Kentucky.
They sure did. You're right.
And then the game day picks, Fowler and Herb Street and whoever the ball-headed guy is, I can't think of his name right now, the Bear, they call him. He does 3 upsets every week, and he picked Georgia Southern to cover the 5.5 on ESPN game day against Troy, and he was right.
Yeah, you're right.
Didn't look that way, but the final was 27-24, and the line was 5.5.
Yes, sir.
So the Bear was correct, and then I lost this game on my picks. I picked Virginia Tech. They're winning throughout the game. Notre Dame comes back late and wins 39-29 at Virginia Tech. Good win for Notre Dame. And then poor Scott Frost at Nebraska. Michigan wins 32-29 against Nebraska. Michigan is undefeated.
Yeah. Somebody's
So
got
you
to beat them.
Michigan, Michigan State, Iowa, and Ohio State.
Yeah, that's right.
And I guess still Penn State. So the Big Ten's got wide open.
And I tell you this, Ohio State, I think it really turned on the back burners. I think you can look for Ohio State in the playoffs. I really believe it.
And then Kentucky destroys LSU 42-21. LSU's top receiver Josh Boutte is out for the year now, so LSU's problems are getting worse. And then I hate to mention this score, but Georgia State goes to La Monroe and wins 55-21. That's coming off Coastal Carolina beating La Monroe 59-6. So that Troy loss to La Monroe is still just baffling.
You know what? That loss right there could keep Troy out of a bowl game. That right there.
That definitely could be a possibility.
All right, let's tell. While we're doing that, A&M
against the line might have had the biggest upset. They were a 19-point underdog at home, beat Alabama 41-38. Other games of interest: UCLA beat Arizona 34-16, and that's your wrap up of college football.
A very good wrap up indeed. Let's take a break right there. We're at the 7:40 mark. We'll be back.
Sale days on GE Appliances at Bracken Appliance in Enterprise in Dothan. Our warehouses are loaded with appliances. Get great savings on these 4 sets of washers and dryers, starting as low as $449 each or $898 for the pair. Shop now for special savings on GE Laundry at Bracken Appliance in Enterprise in Dothan. Take it home with you or Bracken will deliver. Buy local.
Check out the scoreboard. J.D. Power's #1 in initial quality midsize truck. Jeep Gladiator. 0 APR for 36 months. And no payments for 90 days. Shop PremierTroy.com today during Jeep Adventure Days and save thousands. Nobody beats a Premier deal. Nobody.
Forevermark Diamonds. Beautiful, rare, responsibly sourced. Available at Marguerite's Exquisite Jewelry.
Check out the scoreboard. J.D. Power's #1 in initial quality truck. Ram. #1 longest lasting truck. Ram. Right now. Get 0% APR for 72 months on new Ram. Shop PremierTroy.com during Ram Power Days and save. Nobody beats a Premier deal. Nobody.
Bracken Appliance, the largest appliance store in the Wiregrass, is the place to go to find your dream kitchen. Choose from names like Wolf, Sub-Zero, GE's Cafe Line, and KitchenAid. If a dream kitchen is in your future, you owe it to yourself to shop Bracken Appliance. Bracken specializes in customer service, friendly, knowledgeable sales staff with that special touch to make you feel welcome. Dream no more about your new kitchen. Find it.
Check out the scoreboard. J.D. Power's #1 in initial quality midsize truck. Jeep Gladiator. 0 APR for 36 months. And no payments for 90 days. Shop PremierTroy.com today during Jeep Adventure Days and save thousands. Nobody beats a Premier deal. Nobody.
Welcome to ESPN College Football. is going to be wild.
Run it.
We're celebrating our Driver Appreciation Week. We're so happy to have Truckworks here.
We just want to recognize Truckworks for what they do for us. Absolute great partners. They've really stepped up here on Driver Appreciation Week. They came in here, and I mean, not hamburgers and hot dogs, Boston butts and the grilled chicken, the really, really prima stuff. So, man, we so much appreciate you guys and what you do for us.
Wally Sanders Truck Line, we know one thing. Drivers first.
Check out the scoreboard. J.D. Power's #1 in initial quality truck. Ram. #1 longest lasting truck. Ram. Right now. Get 0% APR for 72 months on new Ram. Shop PremierTroy.com during Ram Power Days and save. Nobody beats a Premier deal. Nobody.
That's the championship game. You got to be at least happy with that. It's not like it's a bad season.
So if they lose the championship game, they're done. They're toast.
That's 2 losses. Yeah.
Yeah. So. And that would be playing in Atlanta.
I mean,
that game would be in Atlanta, wouldn't it, against Georgia?
Yeah. Every game's in Atlanta in the SEC championship.
Yeah.
I've still never been to that new stadium. It's hard to believe. I went to so many games in the old one.
Well, we're back on there. But
back to our show, ladies and gentlemen.
Enjoying what we talk about off there.
That's right.
How about those Atlanta Braves? Jock Peterson hit a 3-run homer in the 5th, and the Braves beat the Milwaukee Brewers. They're now only 1 game away to win the series against Milwaukee. They'll be playing again today in Atlanta. GA, if anybody wants to drive over and watch it.
Oh, yeah, I would. I'd love to.
Hey, did you...
right, if I can get some tickets, you want to go?
No. Did you watch your... keep up with the Fury Wilder fight?
Oh, boy.
Yeah, I heard... I saw where Wilder knocked him down twice in the 4th. And they're complaining about the counts again, slow counts. Like that maybe Wilder should have knocked him out, is what they're complaining about the referees. But then he just got bludgeoned the rest of the fight.
Oh, yeah. Did he knock him out? Did he finally knock him out? Or what?
Oh, yeah. In the 11th round, he just totally knocked him out. But I tell you what, man, that was a pretty good fight. I've seen bits and pieces of it for heavyweights. I was pretty impressed.
Everything I've read said it was like a Rocky-type fight, that Wilder was kind of outclassed, but he was game and kept throwing bombs. And even when you think he was out of it, he would still somehow land some really good punches that hurt Fury. But there were 5 knockdowns in the fight.
Ladies and
Fury
gentlemen.
was the guy that won got knocked down twice, and I did read that some people wondered if that was a slow count and he should have been called out in the 4th round.
The Fury, ladies and gentlemen, weighs 277.
277.
I thought it weighed 300.
I watched the weigh-in. It was funny.
277.
These guys are so good.
He is by far the most awkward-looking heavyweight of all time. I mean, he looks like a center on a basketball boxing.
Yeah.
He's not like real ripped up either.
Yeah.
No, he's not.
You look at Wilder. Wilder's just cut and looks like a bodybuilder. But Fury does not look like that at all.
He does not look like a boxer at all.
I know your sister's upset because her and Wilder are good friends. She knows Wilder.
They're not good friends.
Well, they know each other.
For some crazy reason, Rebecca.
What? Oh, you knocked Mike off.
I didn't.
He's our guru. All right, here we go.
You're on Today in L.A.
You're on Today in L.A. Is that you, Will?
It is. No, it's me. How y'all doing? Okay.
Will, what's going on, brother? How about them Crimson Tide of Alabama?
Well, it happens. It's tough on the road, baby.
It happened, yes, sir. Yes. And it was, boy, the one thing Saban said, he said, well, at least when you beat Alabama, everybody goes crazy. And sure enough, that stadium, it emptied quicker than any I've seen.
I'm surprised Saban got off the field alive with all that.
I know it.
And I'm going to ask you, why does the SEC, these bureaucrats, and why do they impose these fines when the fans come on the field? I mean, come on.
How much did that cost them?
A lot of money.
200,000.
250,000. That's a chunk change.
Well, but that's a lot of scholarships you could fund.
And Auburn probably. Yeah.
They got more money.
I don't care. I don't.
If they give it to the SEC, the SEC's gonna make some money off of it.
Yeah.
Well, what's the rationale for the fines? What are they preventing people from celebrating? I mean, I guess they're saying, oh, people will be hurt. Nobody got hurt.
No, but you never know, somebody could crap on. I know the last time Auburn did it or whatever, a couple of girls got caught in the bushes, got hurt.
Yeah.
Well, that's on them.
Jumping over the bushes.
Well, it was.
Well, they're going to keep these people love to create these rules and impose these fines. So good job.
Yeah.
One thing about it, if COVID's running strong in College Station, Texas is running wild now, because I didn't see a mask.
Not a single mask on. Is that right?
I think the people are telling us that they're not really afraid. There's no virus outside.
Of course, Will Matthews is our local attorney, and of course, you're looking for a great group of attorneys. All you got to do is go to Ozark, and of course, we appreciate the Matthews Law Firm for being a part of this show. And Will, how did you do on your picks, man? I know you.
I was 6-4. I'm kind of disappointed because a couple of them got trashed at the end that were winners the whole day. And then
you're right. Texas was one of them.
You had Oklahoma, Will.
Oh, did I?
I had Texas, and I thought, well, I said that's a winner from the first quarter on. I said there's no way that I thought, well, they might lose, but I said there's no way they're not going to cover. And,
I thought I went with Texas, bud.
Yeah, you got 5 points.
Will had Texas A&M plus 17.5. He had Florida minus 38. He had Tennessee minus 10. He had Auburn plus 15.5. He had Oklahoma minus 3. He lost a heartbreaker. He had Penn State plus 2.
They were ahead the whole game.
He also had the under 41, and the final score was 23-20. Michigan, he had minus 3.5. They won by 3. Virginia Tech, he had plus 1. They lost by 3. And then Wake Forest won by 3. The line was 6. So you were real close on one.
You did pretty well. Yeah.
Here's why you don't bet. Texas and Oklahoma, the game's tied. Oklahoma gets the ball back. They're setting up for a field goal, just running out the clock, and they do this little random handoff, and the dang guy breaks it 37 yards untouched for a touchdown.
That's right.
There goes your Texas bet right there.
That's right. It's almost
if
like
they
they
kick the field goal, Texas still wins the bet.
Yeah.
That's the way it goes.
I tell you what, whoever made that coffee this morning did a great job. It was delicious coffee right here from our studios on South Brundage Street in Troy. Of course, we on Facebook. Call your friends and tell them to join us this morning on, of course, our good friends at A1 Services. That's Terry Moats for air conditioning or refrigeration or heating. And, of course, some people are getting ready to turn their heaters on because the mornings are starting to get cold. But it is wonderful at A1 Services. We appreciate them.
Mike, you know who's grateful this morning? What NFL coach is grateful this morning?
I tell you.
Meyer.
Yeah.
Urban Meyer is grateful.
Tell me about it.
Because John Gruden has taken every headline away from him.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Let me tell you this. Let me tell you something right now. Did any of y'all watch the game last night, Monday night? There was
I turned it and I saw the Colts were up big, but did Baltimore come back?
Well, Baltimore came back and won the game, won the football game.
God, they were down 22-3.
They were down 22-3, and it looked like. But let me tell you this: the quarterback for the Ravens is the best quarterback in the country.
Lamar Jackson.
Hey, anybody that saw that game last night, hey, he brought them back and was just brilliant. He was brilliant he made passes after passes. I'd like to see how many he completed, but he was brilliant and he led them back.
He had over 400 yards.
Yeah,
and he's known as a running quarterback.
Yeah, and of course he also made a lot of big runs. I know he had over 500 yards in total offense. But that was a great game. It was tied 25-25 at the end, and they found a way to win.
He had 504 total yards.
Oh, my God.
Which is just phenomenal. He's a great athlete.
42 passing, 62 running.
All right, yeah, and his stats on passing was I think he completed over 40 passes. He was outstanding.
37 out of 43.
How much?
37 out of 43.
37 out of 43. Is that pretty good?
Pretty good.
And and of course he throws it like very few people. I mean he throws it from whether or not he's off balance or whatever, he throws it and got a spin on it. It's just unbelievable.
He was a Heisman Trophy winning quarterback in college. Everybody knows who he is.
Oh yeah, and
he nailed me with 30 seconds to go. I had the under, and it was 47.
Yeah. Can you believe this? I had it over.
Did they win the money too when they won by 6?
No.
No.
They lost the money.
Okay.
But they won. But if you had it under, I mean, I had it over for a point, and like you just said, Will, we were able to win.
10-3 at the half. It went over.
Think about that. It was 10-3 at the half, and that means they would have to score 57 points to be over. The over/under was 57.
So they had to score 44 points in the second half.
No, excuse me, 47 or 57? 47.
Man, that's
47.
going to be the best game of his career. It's going to be one of the best games for a quarterback ever.
It was.
37 for 43 for 442 yards and 4 touchdowns.
And you're exactly right. And
what is wrong with the Chiefs, Will? Do you ever watch the Chiefs in there? They're 2-3.
They have no defense, Michael. None.
But the two heroes in professional football right now is the quarterback at Buffalo and the quarterback at we saw last night.
The San Diego Chargers quarterback's doing good too.
I tell you what, Dak Prescott and Dallas look pretty good.
Yeah.
Mac Jones got a win with 4 of his offensive linemen out. I was happy to see that.
I was too, and I tell you what, it's the year of the quarterback. I'm telling you, and the pros, they're really playing well.
It's a quarterback league. You got to.
Will, we were talking earlier in the show. Alabama's got Mississippi State and Starkville. Then they've got a couple of home games. What do we say, right? They got they got Tennessee at home. Then they got they got LSU at home. Then I think they got New Mexico State. Then they've got Arkansas. They got Auburn. You think Alabama's going to win out and play in the SEC championship still?
Yes.
Well, I'll tell you.
They'll be at least 17 to 20-point favorites in every game.
Yeah, they're 16 against Mississippi State right now. I think the 2 toughest games left are at Mississippi State this weekend, and then at Auburn is always going to be tough because it's just always a rivalry game.
Where's the Arkansas game going to be played? Will it be in Tuscaloosa?
Arkansas game's in Tuscaloosa.
All right. And we got our.
Alabama will have to score to beat Tennessee at home. I mean, Tennessee will score some points, but I think Alabama will outscore Tennessee. This weekend's a huge game.
Yeah. Will, let me tell you this before you give us those games. The over and under in the Ole Miss Tennessee game this weekend is 79.5. Most anybody would take that 79. The odds of somebody scoring 79 points or half points are unreal, and that's what you can get that game for. You can get it right now at 79.5 points.
Now, which game is that, Mike?
That's the Ole Miss Tennessee game this weekend.
Oh yeah.
It's the over under is 79.5.
Well, didn't Texas A&M just beat Alabama 41-38? Add those 2 numbers up.
That's right. Yeah, you're right. You're right, but you'll.
And then Ole Miss just beat Arkansas 52-51. Add those 2 numbers up.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, but I'd still be scared to do that. It'd be unreal.
What do y'all think about Auburn traveling to Arkansas this weekend? That's a really interesting game to me.
Hey, Michael, I think that game might not get out of the 20s. It might be like 17-10, something like that.
Well,
offense looked pretty good against Ole Miss.
well, I tell you what, when you play Auburn, look at that. Who's that guy right there? His name is Tank Bigsby. You got to go through Tank Bigsby to win a national championship. And, of course, he...
Do you think Auburn loses in Fayetteville?
Yeah, I do.
Well, I tell you, that's
Vegas has got the line around 4, so that's pretty much kind of close to a pick 'em. Arkansas, of course, is coming off a heartbreaking loss. Auburn was out of the game pretty much after the first half against Georgia. Huge game for Auburn. I would imagine it'll be a close one.
Yeah. Let me tell you a game that a lot of people might not even be looking at right now, but they're going to soon. Look at Oklahoma State. Texas is a five-point favorite against Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State is undefeated, my friend. And a win over Texas would skyrocket them a little bit.
Yeah. How does Texas come back from that shock?
I know it. You're right.
The only team that's feeling worse than Alabama fans is the Texas fans.
Yeah. And I'll tell you something.
I don't know. Penn State fans are probably pretty upset too.
And
Penn State had that game won.
They did. And then what
Penn
happened?
State's quarterback got hurt.
Is that what happened?
Yep.
The quarterback got hurt?
He got hurt. There went Penn State. They were ahead a good bit before he got hurt.
That atmosphere, that was a great atmosphere in that stadium. That was a great game.
Well, there was some good. You had Texas, Oklahoma must have been a wild one. Penn State, Iowa, Alabama, Texas A&M. A lot of close games that came down to the wire.
When they get down to the Final Four, you're going to have Georgia, Alabama, and Ohio State going to be in the Final Four.
Georgia, Alabama, and Ohio State, and who's the other one?
I think Cincinnati will be the other one.
Yeah.
You think Ohio State will definitely beat Michigan?
Yes.
Is that this week?
Somebody's going to have to beat Iowa, and somebody's going to have to beat Michigan State.
Yeah, you're right.
Does Iowa play Ohio State in the championship?
Maybe in the championship, I think. I don't think they play in the regular season.
I have to look at the rest of their schedule.
I'll tell you a game that...
They got to play them in the championship or during the regular season, one or the other.
Does Georgia blow Kentucky out this week, or does the Kentucky play them? The over-under on that game is just 44. I would think Georgia scored that many themselves.
Where are they playing, in Athens?
Playing in Athens.
I think Georgia's going to win that game like 28-3 or 28-7, something like that.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know if the spread's over 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
You know, the Kentucky fans really come out when Kentucky has a decent team, don't they? It's a basketball school, but they actually seem to like football.
Still, they sell out every game in Lexington.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell y'all something right now. I'm gonna tell you.
I was at a great homeowners association meeting, and I got a neighbor down the street from me. He flies a Kentucky flag, and he said that he was an all SEC diver.
All right.
And he grew up and was born and raised in Thomasville, Georgia. Apparently, Thomasville, Georgia has a lot of divers that come out of there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well-known teacher.
Oh yeah, they all Auburn and Georgia.
Swimming down there.
Yeah, they're great swimming schools. Now let me tell you something that's going to happen this weekend.
All right.
Texas A&M travels to Missouri, and they get beat, in my opinion.
No.
Yes, sir. Hey, Missouri will beat Texas A&M.
Missouri barely beat Texas State.
Well, let me.
North Texas.
Well, let me tell you.
It's good that they've got Missouri, because they're going to have a big letdown probably, but they can handle Missouri.
I want you to remember this.
All right.
Missouri is going to beat Texas A&M. They're going to win the game. Playing at Missouri, and Texas A&M is going to still be on a high, and that's what's going to happen.
That's not good for Alabama.
And, and another thing, another game, too, Iowa against Purdue. Purdue is liable to come up and kick Iowa if they don't watch it. Somebody needs to beat Iowa, don't they?
Yep.
I mean, I tell you, an interesting game is TCU just blowing out Texas Tech. TCU travels to Oklahoma.
Oh, yeah.
12.5.
Yes, sir.
Patterson's a good coach at TCU. That's going to be an interesting game.
You're exactly right.
Well, Oklahoma's been getting through all these tight games, so I mean they're just.
And they are undefeated on this. Still undefeated. Yeah.
So it seems that their luck's going to run out at some point.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
No question.
Maybe with this new quarterback, they found their secret ingredient.
Boy, I tell you what, some of these games are hard to figure.
Yeah,
but
the games this week are not as great as the past few weeks, to say the least. There's no really like super marquee games.
What's the CBS game on Saturday?
Georgia is a 23-point favorite hosting Kentucky.
Now let me tell you another one. Another game that is going to happen. Ole Miss is going to be beaten by Tennessee. Tennessee's going to win the football game.
Where's that game?
Game played in the Shields Watkins Field, Neyland Stadium in Knoxville, Tennessee.
What's that say? It's football time in Tennessee? Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's right. Oh, Rocky Top, you'll always be home sweet home to me.
Florida travels to LSU. Florida's a 10.5-point favorite at LSU. You're talking about a lot of pressure for Orgeron.
That's right. He needs to win that game.
I think Orgeron's already dead coach walking.
Yeah, dead coach walking. I love it.
Yeah,
we're going to take a short break. We'll be back.
Dead man walking.
Check out the scoreboard. J.D. Power's #1 in initial quality midsize truck. Jeep Gladiator. 0 APR for 36 months. And no payments for 90 days. Shop PremierTroy.com today during Jeep Adventure Days and save thousands. Nobody beats a Premier deal. Nobody.
It's fall sale days on GE Appliances at Bracken Appliance in Enterprise in Dothan. Our warehouses are loaded with appliances. Get great savings on these 4 sets of washers and dryers, starting as low as $449 each or $898 for the pair. Shop now for special savings on GE Laundry at Bracken Appliance in Enterprise in Dothan. Take it home with you or Bracken will deliver. Buy local.
Check out the scoreboard. J.D. Power's #1 in initial quality midsize truck. Jeep Gladiator. 0 APR for 36 months. And no payments for 90 days. Shop PremierTroy.com today during Jeep Adventure Days and save thousands. Nobody beats a Premier deal. Nobody.
Forevermark Diamonds. Beautiful, rare, responsibly sourced. Available at Marguerite's Exquisite Jewelry.
Check out the scoreboard. J.D. Power's #1 in initial quality truck. Ram. #1 longest lasting truck. Ram. Right now. Get 0% APR for 72 months on new Ram. Shop PremierTroy.com during Ram Power Days and save. Nobody beats a Premier deal. Nobody.
Bracken Appliance, the largest appliance store in the Wiregrass, is the place to go to find your dream kitchen. Choose from names like Wolf, Sub-Zero, GE's Cafe Line, and KitchenAid. If a dream kitchen is in your future, you owe it to yourself to shop Bracken Appliance. Bracken specializes in customer service, friendly, knowledgeable sales staff with that special touch to make you feel welcome. Dream no more about your new kitchen. Find it at Bracken Appliance. Come on in, buy local and take it with you, or Bracken will deliver.
In Mississippi, I did that.
Yeah. I tell you, the most underrated, back to our show, brought to you by the Withington Group. Remember, you're in good hands with Allstate. See Perry Green at the Withington Group today. And, of course, I want to also mention our good friends at Troy Bank and Trust Company. Remember, Troy Bank and Trust Company is the only bank you'll ever need, located with 4 branches here in 4 different offices here in Troy, and over 14 offices to choose from throughout the Wiregrass. And, of course, our good friends at the Alabama Real Estate Connection, see Carol Amos, pretty well-known name to me, for your real estate needs. And, of course, Troy Health and Rehab, located on the Elba Highway right here in Troy. We appreciate all of our sponsors, so much, especially Premier Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram trucks, located on the bypass right here in Troy, Alabama. And, of course, we're coming to you from Troy, Alabama this morning on Facebook, Rice. Did you ever realize you were going to be a well-known figure in this part of the country?
No. No.
Rice Jr. is the name, and of course he's out.
Well, I was semi-famous for a couple of years when I had my own newspaper. So anybody that saw the newspaper would see my stories.
Somebody told me that.
I don't know if they read them, but maybe they glanced at them.
Yeah.
But I never thought I would be a TV person.
But we appreciate you right here on our show, and of course, want to mention our good friends at First National Bank of Luverne, or Citizen Bank of Luverne. Of course, they've been our sponsor for 20 years or more at least, and of course, William Petrie and is the head man there and did a great job. It's a great bank.
That's a great business. Yeah.
Beautiful local bank located in Luverne, Alabama. Of course, I want to say hello.
They've also got a location in Holland Home, Alabama.
Mike, I want you to give us some of these high school scores that a lot of people might have missed out on. But I'd like to say this first. Brantley wins without Tucker Kilcrease. Tucker Kilcrease is out for a few weeks with an injury, and the young
backup
did fine. They won big again.
Did you go to that game?
Yeah, well, no, I didn't go to it, but it was a good game. It was a good game out there, though. We talked about going.
Well, we got a big.
We went to Luverne. We went over Luverne, Mike.
We got a big game in rec league football tonight. Jack Rice's Saints are taking on somebody.
Yeah, that's right. It's going to be a big game tonight in the Sun Belt Conference. In fact, some people could call this the championship game of the Sun Belt. Well, if you didn't include Coastal Carolina.
Well, it might be the first time they play. They might end up playing twice.
That's right. It could happen. Of course, Louisiana.
Here's some high school scores. Arrington beat Pine Chapel 42-6. Arrington is undefeated. What are they, 8-0 or 7-0?
They're undefeated. I know that. Probably 8-0. No, 7-0.
Probably 7-0.
Tough loss here. I hate to see this. Target Academy, a guy named Coach Carr beat Escambia Academy 31-17.
And so Coach Carr, they were talking about some coach being kicked out of the game. Did you ever hear anything about that? I don't know who it was, but somebody didn't like what an official called, and he got kicked out.
You don't think Coach Fallon got kicked out?
No. It was somebody though, well known to the Alabama Independent Schools, was kicked out of the ball game.
So Coach Fallon's team beat the Target Academy.
Yeah.
Boy, they must really be good.
Target Academy beat Escambia Academy.
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
But the real, hey, let me tell you this. You can talk.
Coach Carr's a legendary coach of the Edgewood. Now he's at Target. They won 31-17 over Escambia. So how good is the Target?
Yeah, but let me tell you this. Y'all can talk about all these teams, but the guru, the guy that's going to end up beating them all is Pike Liberal Arts. They've got a great team, big, strong, and fast.
What are you talking about? Escambia beat Pike Liberal Arts for almost 3 touchdowns.
All right, well, let me tell you that they wouldn't do it now. I guarantee you. It'd be the other way around. Let me tell you this. What I would love, if we could have an Autauga Pike Liberal game, then you'd have your two champions. But one of them is a 3A and one of them is a 2A.
Those teams are in the 2A region.
That's right.
Pike lives in the 3.
That's right.
Seems like the 2A region is better than the 3A.
Exactly.
Well, I guess Escambia wants a rematch in the playoffs, which they'll probably get.
The real tough teams in the Alabama Independent Schools is Chambers Academy. Chambers is still very good. The other one is Autauga. They're still very good. The other one is Pike Lib. They're still very good.
Pike lives in 3A.
I know, but I'm just talking about all.
Escambia, Autauga, and Chambers are all 2A.
Yeah, but he's talking about all the best teams in the
AISA,
regardless of classification.
Yeah, regardless of it.
They don't play state championships though.
I know it. The best two teams though that Pike Liberal could play would be either Autauga or Chambers, and they've already played. Chambers lost by 2. Chambers lost by 2.
Brantley 46-0 over Georgiana. Boy, Georgiana's awful.
Yeah, I can remember a few years. Yeah, I don't know what happened either, because a few years back they were really good. The coach had a lot to do with it.
And Ed Rigby loses again. Carver, Montgomery 20, UFall at 12. UFall's had a tough year. Central Phoenix City won 42-21 over Prattville.
Wow.
Chambers Academy Dodge Team 49, Edgewood 7. Other scores of interest around the. Oh, this is interesting to me. Crestview, Florida goes to Andalusia and wins 27-21.
I don't know. Was that game played in Andalusia or Crestview?
Looks like Andalusia.
And but they beat Andalusia by 2. Is that right?
Beat them by 6.
Of course, this is one of the. This tells you how good Andalusia is. I tell you.
Then you got other scores around. Let's see. Dothan 20, Jeff Davis 18. Shame on you, Elba. Elba 82, Abbeville 14.
Elba, hey, shame on you. I wish we had something we could put a shame on you tag with. Elba scored 82 points against Abbeville.
They probably tried not to.
And, of course, that was quite a game. And boy, Elba.
Sometimes you put in all your little scrubs. They want to score too, and you're not going to tell them not to try to.
Now I want y'all to tell me something.
Enterprise 49, Ronaldo, St. K, Kennington, Smith Station 35.
Okay, but it's a shame St. K can't play, isn't it? They'd be hard to beat.
He's the running back coach at Smith Station.
Okay.
I got to talk about my family next door. Fayette County won 27-0. That's the legendary Walden Tucker wins another game.
Yep.
Florala continues to play well, 19-12 over Pleasant Home. GW Long 38, Cottonwood 12.
Okay.
Geneva County 40, Houston County 21. Goshen Eagles, we talked about this.
That was a huge win.
15-13 over Pike County.
And that was quite a battle.
So what was that?
Beat Carroll 20-7.
That game must have come down to Goshen must have scored a touchdown and 2 touchdowns and got a 2-point conversion one time.
That's how.
And then Pike County couldn't convert, so it came down to extra points.
Let me ask this: Charles Henson play Carroll this weekend? Do you know?
I think so. I'll have to look that up after I get done reading the scores.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find any other games of interest. Let's see. Luverne 44-0 over Francis Marion.
Oh yeah, wasn't much to that one. Okay.
McKenzie's actually playing a lot better. They beat Kinston 26-15. I've seen McKenzie winning more games this year than ever. Montgomery Catholic 44, Childersburg 0. Let's see. New Brockton lost to Northside Methodist 19-13.
Oh boy, that was a tough one. Yeah.
Other scores of interest, locally, Pike Road 56, but Headland scored 27.
Headland scored 27 points on Pike Road. That's great. I think Charles Henderson has Headland on their schedule too, don't they?
My favorite private school ever, Snook 24, Meadowview 14.
Snook, big Meadowview.
I keep up with Pike Road's. They get their field goal kicker kicked at Charles Henderson for 2 years, and his parents are friends of mine from Pike Road.
Yeah.
And he is a college prospect.
Oh,
he's become
That's great.
And the only other really local score looks like it's St. James 45, Dale County 20. Dale County started off playing pretty well. I think they've lost a lot lately, and that looks like that's pretty much going to be it.
Let me ask you this. I don't know if you can do this or not, but does Elba play, let's see, I'm looking at Elba's, trying to find Elba's schedule against Arrington. Does Elba play Arrington, Mike?
Let me look and see.
That's going to be one heck of a game.
Elba's 7-1.
That would be a great game.
And Arrington is undefeated.
Well, I just really like how Barrington can keep it
Yeah,
together.
that's right. You got to go this game Friday night. Well, you won't be able to, but Friday night, Elba 7-1 has a home game against Arrington.
Oh boy, what a game! We're gonna play at Elba, Tiger Stadium at Elba.
That's
gonna be the game of the week right there.
Sure, that's been the game of the year. What are you talking about?
You talking about a game that needs to be televised. That one needs to be televised by Troy Cable, and hopefully they will. Of course,
who is the voice of the Elba Tigers on Troy Cable?
I don't know, but he does a good job. All of these announcers are doing a great job on. Ever since they got rid of me, they've got some good announcers.
Has Wally and Neil won a game since they've been at Charlton and doing the play-by-play? Oh, they won one this year.
They won that one last week. They beat.
They won 2 games.
Yeah. One of them was a jamboree now, and the other one was a regular season game.
Well, you got to finish strong. Charles Henderson's going to try to finish strong.
Charles Henderson only needs to win one more game to have a better season than last year. We talked about that.
All right, Mike, is this Sun Belt Conference game tonight?
Yeah, tonight.
All right, and where's the game played? Do you know?
Lafayette, Louisiana.
Lafayette. And of course, Louisiana, Lafayette, or now they call themselves Louisiana, and I don't blame them.
I have been there.
They play.
You know who is from Lafayette? My sister-in-law, Molly.
Oh, really? Okay,
That's her
okay.
hometown.
Well, Lafayette, Louisiana. That's a big town too. I've been through there.
I went to a wedding.
Been
That's
to
where
games, yeah.
Bobby and Molly got married in Lafayette.
And
Charles Henderson has a home game against Carroll Ozark on Friday night.
This Friday night.
Carroll is 3-4. Charles Henderson is 1-6. But I tell you what, if you look at it, Charles Henderson wins this game at home, and then they beat Headland, who I think only won one game. Then they finished with Brantley. Rehoboth was an area game. I think Carroll's an area game. I think Headland's an area game.
They might make it, yeah.
Area wins.
Yeah.
Does that get you in the playoffs?
I don't know. I don't know, but you'll come close, I think, at least. And I'm proud of the job Coach Hambright has done with that Charlton team. He's got them better. Each week he's got them better.
He played such a brutal schedule. I mean, if you look at the way their season started, they played Montgomery Catholic. They got beat 50-0, and they played Greenville. Played them respectfully, got beat 25-10, then they got beat by Early County 31-9, Andalusia 58-28, Williamson 39-22,
You're right.
Pike Road 60-6, but then they beat Rehoboth 40-7.
I tell you, that is quite a schedule Charles Henderson has played. I bet that would be one of the hardest schedules in the state. I mean, 3 or 4 of them, Greenville's still undefeated, I think, and
I mean, I know Brad
Pike Road's still undefeated.
Brad McCoy had a lot to do with this schedule, the former coach, I would imagine.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
Coach Hambright said these are 2 years in advance, but man,
yeah, they're
he's sure not
tough.
going to be doing himself any favors starting off with a schedule like this.
No question about it. And then Pike Road, of course, was still undefeated. It's amazing.
Will Steel Creek play against Charles Henderson on the 29th? That's only a couple weeks away.
I don't know. He's got a broken foot, what I gather, and you know, I'm not sure if he'll play or not, but I would love to see him play.
How in the world is he going to come back and play?
Well, you know, he ought to just take it easy and get ready for Troy University next year.
He's also got baseball season to think about.
Again, our player of the week this week is Gunnar Watson, the quarterback at Troy.
Is he going to be starting next week, you think?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Gunnar Watson is.
I don't know how he could lose his starting job. I mean, he played pretty good. I mean, 270 yards. The offense could do in the second half. That'd be my only concern.
And I tell you what, in that game, he got hit as hard as any quarterback I've ever seen hit on 2 different occasions, and he jumped right up. I mean, and I'm talking about he really got hit on 2 blitzes that Georgia Southern made. And Troy's defense played well against, you know, they're the 4th or 5th ranked defense in the country, and there's no reason to say they're not even better this week. They played outstanding.
That Troy defense is pretty phenomenal. You get 2 interceptions less than 5 minutes to go in that game. That was pretty incredible.
That's right. And won that ball game for Troy. And
Rice, what was your opinion? I didn't ask this earlier in Alabama kicking all those good shot field goals and Saban not going for it on 4th down. I mean, did you agree with all that?
Well, after the guy got the offsides motion penalty, yeah, you had no real. I mean, it would have been such a long shot to convert. Yeah, I mean, Alabama still had plenty of chances to win the ball game.
If anybody was watching the game, would you have said that Alabama was the best team?
The only thing I would have done with 3 minutes left in the game. What was it? Was it
ran
tied?
the ball all 3 times?
Was it tied? Yeah, it was tied, I think, then. And Alabama got the ball back.
Make them use all their timeouts.
Yeah, and then if you run it maybe 3 times in a row or safe little flare passes and try to win the game running the ball, and then if you go to overtime, you go to overtime. No big deal. But they just threw 3. You know, like you say, one of them was dropped.
But another thing, gave him too much time.
Saban and the offensive staff, O'Brien, must have no confidence in any other running back. I mean, Rondell Williams, kid out of Hueytown, caught a pass and ran it in for a touchdown, and I think he carried the ball maybe 3-4 times. I mean, losing Josh McClellan or Jace McClellan is a big loss in running back for Alabama because, I mean, shoot, Brian Robinson's pretty much getting every carry. I mean, Trey Sanders is not getting on the field. I mean, he's going to be worn down by the end of the season if he keeps up like he's doing now. But, you know, that number little 10, that JoJo Earl kid, I mean, he looks like a little waddle.
Yeah.
I think Alabama's trying to get him in the mix more. Messi is definitely having a down year. He, you know, I think played 60, 70 yards a game, but, I mean, definitely he's not the star receiver we thought he was going to be. Williams has become that. But, Alabama's got to have some more guys contribute.
Yeah. Of course, Auburn's got a big game at Arkansas against the Razorbacks, and to me, that's a toss-up.
That's a big game.
This is a toss-up. He's ready. This guy's ready. From Fayetteville, Arkansas this week, it's Auburn and Arkansas. Your game of the week in the SEC. Auburn and kickoff. What time kickoff on this game? Do y'all know?
It's early game.
11 a.m. They play it early in the morning, so you better wake up early if you're going to watch Auburn and Arkansas.
Hinge games, you know, if you win it, you can have a pretty dang good season. If you don't, things might go south.
Yeah, no question about it. And of course,
Auburn fans are going to be loading up on the Bloody Marys, getting ready for the game.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, you know, Alabama getting ready for another big one. And what do y'all think about it?
I think Mississippi State thinks they can win the football game, so the fear factor of playing Alabama is gone.
And remember that name, what is it? Will
Anderson?
No, the quarterback at Mississippi State. Will Rogers. Will Rogers, of course, is the quarterback.
Well, they threw for over 400 yards against Texas A&M, so, I mean, he probably threw for over 400 against Alabama.
And Albie's going to be there. I mean, excuse me, Big Al's going to be there. Big Al's going to be representing Alabama.
They still didn't block Anderson. You didn't see Will Anderson make the play really the whole game.
All right, let me ask you this. What time does Alabama play?
Alabama plays a night game.
Night game, plays a night game against Tennessee?
No, Mississippi State.
Excuse me, against Mississippi State. It should be a real good football game with those two guys going at it. Like you said.
Right, how quick did you turn the TV off? I turned it off as soon as I saw the kick going through the goalpost.
Exactly. I bet we turned it off at exactly the same time. I mean, boop. I wasn't going to watch all those fans run on the field. At first, you know, when he kicked it, I thought, man, he's hooked it to the left. But then it knocked the ball back to the right.
It started off that way.
I do want to mention this. Jimbo Fisher, I will credit you this. Unbelievable play call to throw the ball on third down there. Everybody and their brother thought they were going to run the ball, just trying to get position, try to make it about a 40-yarder, 45-yard goal. He throws the ball up, and Alabama's horrible safety, number 2, Helms, could not play the ball. He's one of the worst cover guys I've ever seen. And that big tight end was going to be wide open. He goes right there and almost pretty much tackles him to get past interference.
Yeah.
That extra 15 yards took a lot of pressure off that kicker.
It sure did.
Chip shot compared to probably a 43-yarder.
Yeah.
That was a big play in the ball game, and Jimbo Fisher dialed that up. when nobody thought at all they were going to throw the ball there.
Well, old Jimbo's stock might have gone back up. You know, it had gone down bad, and everybody was buying it and buying it and buying it. So, Jimbo.
I mean, would you ever would have thrown the ball there? I mean, wasn't that crazy?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you're right. I hadn't thought about it, but that was a risk.
And then got the pass interference call.
15 more yards. I mean,
but you know, with Alabama's secondary though, I got no confidence in them whatsoever. You're either going to complete it or they're going to get about 4 pass interferences a game.
So right now, the Alabama.
That Job kid. I mean, a lot of people were saying he was going to be like maybe a first-round pick to start the season at corner. Man, he gets exposed every game.
Yeah.
Well, I think they're. It's kind of sacrilegious to criticize Coach Saban.
Overrated. You reckon we're overrated?
But their technique is they're locked in on the receiver, and they never find the ball.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that the cornerback for the Dallas Cowboys is having a remarkable year that used to play at Alabama?
Yeah, he's got 6 interceptions.
But you know, I have noticed they play a different technique than Alabama's deep. He watches the quarterback, and he stays back and breaks on the ball. Alabama's defensive backs don't know where the dang ball is, and then they get pass interference calls. It's happened for 15 years.
One good thing about the game next week, it'll help you forget about what happened this week, and that's going to be a good game.
Well, I mean, the problem with Mississippi State is, you know, Alabama's struggling with crowd noise, and now you're going to have to throw in the cowbells. I mean, it's only going to be 60,000 fans instead of 105,000 fans, but Alabama's offensive line is having a hard time getting the signal. I don't know if y'all been watching it. The center did get the snaps down against A&M. He did a lot better job of snapping.
This is a big game for the Mississippi State's their crowd. This is a huge game for Mississippi State fans. And also this week, I want you to get ready for this. New England against Dallas in the pro football.
Oh, good.
Those are 2 of our best favorite teams going against each other. Hope you enjoyed our show today, and of course brought to you by Premier Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram trucks on the bypass right here in Troy. They've got deals going on right now that you just can't beat. We appreciate their support and all of our sponsors. We'll see you tomorrow, bright and early, I say, on Today in L.A.
It's fall sale days on GE Appliances at Bracken